Welcome back, my friends. This is the Everyday Prepper. Just want to talk about in this series here of everyday carry items for foundations, for preppers. Just want to talk about lighters. And for that matter, anything that can be a combustion device. This is a very important thing to carry. A lot of people carry this, maybe because they're smokers, but there's also people who carry it because they know the importance of having fire when you need it. Now, a lot of my lighters, I just wrap it with Gorilla Tape or maybe, like you can see on the bottom portion here, electric tape to have several options if I need to have some type of a tape in an emergency, but that's just up to you. I like Scripto, but my favorite, of course, is going to be Bic lighters. Of course, that doesn't matter. Whatever you prefer is fine. Some people like Zippos. I mean, there's all kinds, and so that's up to you to determine. But the real reason you need fire, it's not because it's going to be the best light source. Anybody that knows these lighters, after like 10 seconds to 20 seconds, it's going to get so hot, you can't just keep that on forever. So it's not the best light source. But in terms of that being able to create fire, you can melt things. You can actually cut cord with this, with the flame. In terms of there's a lot of things you can seal in terms of melting it in that sense. And it goes on and on. And of course, the big thing is if you actually need to make fire in an emergency for emergency heat, or you need to create a distraction to get away from a situation, you could create a fire to get attention and move away, and use that as a type of counter distraction to help you evade a threat. And then, of course, in other sense, you could use this to create fires for cooking, to help boil water, even just keeping wild animals away, and to give you that sense of security when you're out in the woods. The fire is an amazing thing. Fire is something that you can't really ever say that it's overrated. It's almost always underrated. And when you need it, you need it. When you don't really even think about it. In the modern day world, though, there's so many things that we take advantage of that we can just go in our kitchen and create heat so we can cook from, or we can just turn on our furnace. And so we've gotten out of the practice of creating fire itself, the actual process of it. And so having something that will actually, create fire for us, because a lot of our skills to make it from primitive means have been lost, is going to be very important to have like a lighter. And this is one of the easiest means. Now, before the lighter, people did typically, carry some matches. People sometimes still do carry matches. And of course, you have more of the more primitive individuals that want to be a little bit more challenged when they go out. They would have maybe flint and steel, ferrocerium rod and steel. People sometimes make fire from magnifying glasses and so forth. But for all practical reasons, a good mini Bic lighter or standard size lighter like a Scripto or a Bic, or Zippos and so forth, they do just fine. They have no problems, and I think any of them would be good as long as you maintain them and make sure they have fluid when you need them. So this is just one more part of our foundational series to have the gear you need so that every day you can be a prepper that can get the job done.